San ni ichi. I've used Duolingo for 365 days, but here's the thing. I still can't speak Japanese. So did I actually learn something? Because after seeing all these language apps appear as I'm scrolling, I think I'm starting to see what Duolingo is and what it isn't. I mean, there's some good things and there's some bad things, but let's just start at the beginning when I thought this little green owl was gonna like fast track my Japanese learning experience. I've always been fascinated with the Japanese culture, so I just wanted to try a small goal of 30 days to see if it was something that was feasible for me. And at first it was intriguing and I thought it was gonna be like a simple process. And I also just thought that I'd be speaking Japanese in no time. I mean, it was fun and it seemed like it was working, and it was fun because it felt like I was playing a game. My streak was growing, I was learning words, and I didn't practice at the same time every day, but I was already determined to keep my streak alive, even if that meant squeezing in a lesson at 11:59 p.m. Which, the more I did this, the more I started to realize the underlying issue that was growing. At its core, Duolingo is a game, and at least that's what some people would say. From the marketing to the colors and sounds that you hear, they know what they're doing and obviously it's working. I mean, there's a reason why they're the most popular language learning app. And this game became all about the streak for me because it was either part or all of my fault, because there were days where I would do like 10 lessons and then there were other days where I would almost forget to even do a lesson at all. But Duolingo did show you some grace if you did forget to keep your streak alive one day, because you could use a streak freeze to move on to the next day. Personally, I think I only used like 4 or 5 streak freezes over the course of the year. But either way, like, it became more of a consistent habit and eventually would turn into some kind of discipline. I'll also add that like it was difficult to do multiple lessons in a day if you weren't a part of Super Duolingo or some kind of family plan. Because if you weren't a part of it, every time you did a question within a lesson, it required energy that you would eventually run out of. Then you couldn't do as many lessons as you want. But with Super Duolingo, your energy was unlimited. However, despite all this, I can't deny that I was actually learning something, but I just wasn't confident enough to hold a conversation for like 3 or 4 interactions. And honestly, I think that was because I wasn't really looking for ways to like immerse myself in the Japanese language and the Japanese culture. Over time, this daily habit would become kind of weird. Like, as in, I would almost get annoyed that I would have to do it. So I think my motivation was kind of dying. And I also just didn't want to let the streak die, because just like Snapchat, I had streaks with my friends and I didn't want to let them down. Like, no lie, I'd do like one quick little lesson, or I would practice words that I definitely already knew just to keep the streak alive. And I was on a family plan with some of my friends, and I even did some of the tips that Duolingo recommended, like writing the words down in a journal or saying the words out loud when reading them, but I still felt like something was missing. That's when ads for other apps started appearing. I'm surprised they didn't appear any sooner, but some of these ads were definitely like attacking Duolingo's gamification. The 2 apps that I've personally been seeing the most for the past 5 months or so were Jump Speak and Speak. But like I said, there are a ton of options to choose from. And while I haven't tried any of these other apps yet, I did make a slight shift to make it hopefully more interesting. I've had a total of 6 years of learning Spanish, but just like with most things, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. However, because I'm in the US and that's basically the second most used language in the US, and the area that I'm in, it's easier for me to be immersed in the Spanish language. So what I decided to do was to add Spanish as a second language that I was learning on Duolingo, but I made a deal with myself saying that if I did a Spanish lesson, I had to do a Japanese lesson as well. And at the time, and still, I don't know if that was a good idea to do, because it's basically like splitting my brain. But at the end of the day, it was still getting me back on the app to do more than one lesson. The day finally came, and honestly, it was kind of anticlimactic, because on one hand, I was like, man, I can't believe I did that. I did it a full year, I committed, everything. But then at the same time, it was kind of just like, okay, it's just another number. You extended your streak again. Congrats, many people have done that. Am I fluent in Japanese? Nah, definitely not. But it did teach me that, consistency, effort, and immersion are 3 big factors when it comes to learning a new language, and anything really. But I showed up consistently, my effort wasn't consistent, and my immersion was non-existent, except for when I would watch anime. If I did at least like 30 lessons a day, then this video would most likely be different. Would I be fluent in Japanese? Probably not, but I would definitely have progressed further than I am now. As far as pros and cons go, my top 5 pros and cons for Duolingo would be that number 1, it is very beginner friendly, but it doesn't seem to be the best resource if you want to become fluent in a language. Not saying that it can't be done, but I think other resources out there might help speed up the process. Number 2, it's fun and it's a game, but the streak can feel like an obligation. which again can depend on your own effort. Number 3, it has so many languages to choose from, but sometimes having an app or a course that like focuses on one language could just help you fast track your understanding of the language, the culture, the grammar, everything that's tied to it, and it might just provide more resources that might fast track the experience. Number 4 is subscription versus others that have a one-time payment. That obviously depends on what you get though. And then number 5, the branding is on point from social media to the image. This led to their surge in popularity, but that also means that it might have overshadowed other apps and courses that might be better for different types of people. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm leaving Duolingo or I'm gonna stop using Duolingo because, you know, gotta keep that streak alive. But I am looking at other options and additional resources that specialize in Japanese because I just know there's so many different layers when it comes to learning a new language. And I just know that that looks different for everyone.
Sunday morning views quickly turns to afternoons. It's like that I can barely go and catch it, kinda how I feel with you.